Alright guys, today, as with many other days during the winter, I cut a lot of firewood, dropping trees, open up those woods so grass will grow for the cows, for more pasture, as you all know. And what I do every day before I go out is I sharpen my chain, set the chains and everything. And then between every time I fill the tank, I always go through and just touch it up. And you can see I need to tighten this chain, but I just went through this chain only has a couple hours on it, needs to be sharpened again. And as you can see there, I filed the rakes down a little bit. I like to do that in here on the bench instead of out in the woods. And I usually take them down a fair amount. It's not recommended, but that's what Brad recommends for doing to himself. But I'm working on this chain right now on this saw. You can see that's my little saw. Get him done first, and then the 361 is next. We'll get his chain sharpened, and he really is due for a new chain. I might actually put the new chain on him today, and then I'll have this chain for a backup. This one here is missing a couple teeth on it. So he'll probably get a new chain today, and next time I go to Fleet Farm I need to buy new chains. Usually every year I buy one new chain for each saw. And I just put this one on, the little saw, a couple days ago when I was cutting. And this is another new chain for the 361. The 361 has a 20-inch bar. The 290 has 18-inch bar. And I am looking at buying a, let's see what this chain goes on. This goes on my old Husqvarna. I have a Husqvarna out there too, but the bolts for the bar are junk. They're stripped out so you can't get them tight. It takes a lot of screwing around, which sucks because he runs really good, so I may have to try and figure out a way to put some goop or something around to get them bar bolts from spinning. But I normally sharpen with a file, but I do have this 12-volt sharpener. I can plug into the gator, or as you see I have a battery right there. I can plug this into that and I can sharpen out in the field, but I prefer the file. It just seems like this, you get a little too carried away with it. And I also have this bench mounted sharpener here, which works great. Excuse me. The only thing I hate about it is you gotta take the chain off the saw to use it. And now I see they have another one that clamps right onto the bar. You can sharpen right on the saw, so I might be upgrading to that. But anyways, so I am going to run the file over this for a second. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see very good right there or not. See if I can't get my vise to turn a little bit. The locks are pretty much junk on it. Well, that's not really going to work. Let's see if I can't put you guys in a different spot. I don't know if you'll be able to see what I'm doing right there. I know light shining in the windows isn't going to help the video any. But it's nice to do it in here on the vise so we can hold on to it for you. And it usually works better if the chain is tight. Like this tooth here has a big knot, big nick out of it. I'm going to tighten that chain quick. Sometimes I don't always think of that before I start making the video. But that's what keeps it real, right? on there. As you can see, I got the chain fairly tight. I normally don't over tighten the bolts just so it can back off a little bit. But it usually works better with a guide when you're doing this, but that's the easy way. And this chain has not been sharpened yet, so it's always fun when you first start sharpening with a file. It's not the most accurate using a file, but every so many days of cutting, I'll take the chain off and put it on my bench sharpener, and that'll true all the cutters or the teeth or whatever you want to call it. It'll true them all back up with each other. Doing it this way, if you're not holding the file right, it'll get them off a little bit, but you can usually get it fairly close. And if you sharpen it, just run the file over it quick between every time you fill the tank. It really increases your production with the saw. And if you notice, I really take my rakes down a lot. I don't like sitting there screwing around waiting for it to bite and take off. I like to get stuff done, so it's a little aggressive, but that's the way it is. So now we've got one side all done. Take and flip the saw around. Normally I would just spin the vise, but I have you guys on my magnet mount sitting on the vise, and if I start beating on it, you guys are going to go for a ride, so you all get dizzy from the shaking. It does work better two-handed. I'm just afraid my hand's going to be in the way for you guys to see what I'm doing. And the chain doesn't always like to go backwards either. It'd be real nice to have a vise mounted on the gator for this. And there, that's all sharp. So, one other thing I'm going to show you guys quick. On my gator, you'll see this. This is a piece of plastic they send with for installing the bearings on a water pump for John Deere. I have that on there because I'll drop the tailgate, and then I can just use my vice grip C-clamp, clamp my bar on there, and then I have a vise out in the field with me for sharpening. So yeah, that's how I do that. And I have been looking at a new saw. I'm looking at a 461 just for a little more power for dropping trees and for some of the bigger stuff, but otherwise the 361 is a hoss, man. That thing, it's one heck of a saw. But anyways, that's what I got going on here. Once I get out to the woods, I'll show you guys some of the progress out there, so stay tuned.